We're at Santapod's spectacular Festival of Power for round one of the 2016 MSA British Drag Racing Championship, featuring the awesome Pro Mods. A very special year for Santapod because it's its 50th anniversary season. So going into the first qualifying session of this 3-day event, we have several new drivers in attendance. Most notable is Michel Tooren, who has stepped up to drive the Pro Dutch Racing Cuda following the sad death of fan favourite Robert Houston last year. It's going to be poignant and also quite a learning curve for him. Well, we should be having 4 qualifying sessions over Saturday and Sunday, with eliminations on Monday. However, the weather forecast is variable to say the least, so it's going to be well worth getting an early run in. First out is another new driver for ProMod. This is Marck Harteveld with the Dutch Voodoo Hemi team, and he's making his first half-track licensing pass here this weekend. Sponsored by Six Pack Performance, Marck has recently stepped the car up from a season testing in Super Pro, so it will take a few runs to get used to ProMod performance. Well, nicely off the line, shuts down at half-track. That's one more licensing run ticked off. And Michel Tooren up next, and this is going to be just a checkout trickle up the racetrack. It must be so hard for him to get into this car with all of its history, but watch out for him very soon as the car has plenty of proven potential. So running underneath tower is Bert Englefield for his first pass of 2016. Super strong burnout for the 38 Ford. And Bert and Andy of the team have made some serious gains in performance over the last couple of seasons, and they're looking to take that a little bit further. Nice easy shakedown run from Bert, eases off a little at the top end, 678, 195. Next, side-by-side runs from Wayne Nicholson and Jean Delemont here from the southwest of France. Now, all these drivers don't have the luxury of testing a lot of the time, so this is their first outing of the season. The conditions here at Santapod are a little bit cold and blustery. Very changeable indeed as well. We've had a bit of rain already, but hoping for a dry rest of the weekend. Well, good launches for both of them. Wayne gets out towards the wall, but Jean stays on the throttle with a few pops and bangs going up the track. 695, 212 to open his season. Your next pair, defending MSA champ, that must sound pretty good, to Kev Slyfield with the really cool looking matte black Thunderbird on the near side of the racetrack alongside Chris Isaacs, the Isaacs and Tram Duster, sponsored by Direct Plastics. Been doing very, very well at the end of last season. Let's see if they can carry it forward. Tyre spin for Kev right off the start line, but they both pedal it and leg it on through. Very close side-by-side run, that one, actually. On to Q2 and a quick look behind the scenes before we hit the track. So we're back on with qualifying. Andy Robinson rolls it into stage with the beautiful Camaro. Far side of the racetrack, Kev Slyfield again. Well, Andy Robinson's around a real good stormer, but oh my goodness, a couple 100 foot out, a big flash of flame, and Andy's still not qualified. Oh dear, you can see the flash of flame come into the car. Andy perfectly okay due to all the safety stuff, rolls over before the finish line and stops. And he's still not in the show. So Jean de Le Mans doing a very big burnout alongside Wayne Nicholson again. Some great footage there as usual. Both backing up. Very essential to get the car in the right place lined up, especially on a cold day like today on the racetrack, to make sure that they get the perfect launch. Well, Wayne goes red on the tree. The car makes a move to the left, but he pedals it again. Jean de Le Mans reels it back in quite nicely, but off it before the finish line. 7:12 at 160. You see the slow motion replay of Wayne's launch. You can see the tyre wadding up as well. That's why they have those bead locks, to stop the wheel moving inside the tyre. But good stuff all the same. So a licensing pass again, and a great close-up look at the Plymouth Superbird of Marck Harteveld. Still very stock looking actually. Lowered a few inches. Apart from that, this is how these look when they came out the factory. Superbirds were designed to be very aerodynamic, specifically for the high-speed stock car ovals in America, and they were so successful they were soon banned. Perfect for what will ultimately be a 200-mile-an-hour pro mod. Continuing the Mopar theme now with the first half pass for Michel Tooren, 1971 Plymouth Cuda this time. And that's his first all-power launch, completed safely. And I might add, that's the car's quickest ever 60-foot. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, it's mixed emotions with the crew, and when Robert passed, the decision to run in Pro Mod. But yeah, it's really exciting. It was real exciting, yes. My respect for Pro Mod drivers is a lot bigger now. Now we want to get comfortable with the car and drive decent times, and then first we want to drive MSA, and then look forward to the next year, how it goes this year.
Yeah, stepping is good. Yeah, finally we in Pro Mod, and yeah, last year we testing follow-up in the Super Pro ET, and everything is going well. And this year, last winter, we bought a new engine from the Pro guys, and they did a setup for us. And now we are testing. This is the first time we drive the car with the new setup, and I have to do some license runs. Yeah, everything's going good. Yeah, I like the class. You know, the cars are cool cars, and the class is cool. And yeah, the Sportsman 3, you know, it's very difficult with this setup. So I'm finally happy with the Pro 3, and yeah, that's better for us.
But lots of work in Andy Robinson's pits.
A slight malfunction of the fuel system, and it leaned out and ran out of fuel.
So I'm guessing you've done a few changes over the winter then?
Yeah, we've done quite a few actually, but only small ones, but this was not anticipated. All things being right, I think I've got to go back to the workshop, get some fuel lines and make up some of those. But actually, yeah, because it ran out of fuel so quickly, it's done some damage and then stopped doing damage, which kind of sounds a bit bizarre, but that's the way it works. We want to be consistent and run very low 60s, high 5s. Obviously the high 5s are dependent on track conditions. The track today is really good actually, and considering the weather conditions, it's good.
So on to day 2, and as Mick Payne pushes down, that sky already looks very threatening, and it's incredibly windy. Storming burnout for Mick Payne. It's great to see him with the ex-Gordon Appleton Camaro out here. The car has a lot of potential. Mick really still getting his feet wet with the car. You can hear him on and off the throttle all the way up. Still goes 793 though, 144 miles an hour. And he actually spins the car out in the shutdown area as well. Beautiful onboard shot with Andy Robinson during the burnout. That's just how to do it in a Pro Mod car. Now, Andy hasn't got a qualifying time on the board, is going to need to do it this time round. John Delamont with a flash of flame out the top of the hood. Gets the signal from the start line crew. It's going to be a solo run, so nice, beautiful straight run for Andy. That's a lot more like it. 6:37, 2:25. So another look at that run again, on board with Andy Robinson, banging up through the gears nicely. An uneventful run, just what the team was looking for. Well, a few more licensing runs took place, but then the rain came and meant no more qualifying on the Sunday. So that last run by Andy Robinson took the number 1 spot. So what happens to Mick Payne?
We've got a few new systems on the car, and it's just something we need to get used to. It's a learning curve for us all, but we found a few things, this weekend that we need to learn a bit more about, actually.
Well, this is opportune. It shows that it is very windy today, and we think that probably had some influence on an interesting run you just had.
Well, maybe so. We can't be 100% certain for that, but it probably didn't help. We've checked everything out mechanically. We can't find anything wrong. Nothing's broken, nothing's locked up. So our conscience is clear that the car's fine, so I don't know what else to say apart from that, really. We're fine, I'm okay. Obviously the medics, they come to see you and everything else, but I was out of the car pretty quick.
It must be quite interesting to suddenly find yourself going backwards down the track.
Well, it's sideways actually, it was hopping, but I've done it a few times, so sometimes in both lanes as well.
And reigning champion, Kev Slyfield.
Brilliant year last year. We were over the moon to win it. We had a little bit of luck. This year, it's going to be a lot harder, I think. People have seen every year they raise their game, so it's going to be a lot more difficult. We've had a difficult weekend in qualifying, to be fair. The track's a lot better than we thought it was going to be, and it's caught us out a couple of times. We've been going into big tyre shake straight off the hit, so we're underpowering the track. We just put a new oil system on the car. We had oiling issues last year, running out of oil and oil pressure problems. So we put a new system on it, and it has actually cured the problem. So we're very pleased with that.
So as we move into eliminations, a look at the final qualifying list with Andy Robinson at the number 1 spot. Neither of our 2 Dutch competitors have yet completed licensing, and Mick Payne is on the trailer, so it's a rather limited field for this first round of eliminations. Well, John Delamont's car bearing the scars of quite a few years in Pro Mod already. Kev Slyfield. Now, you see, that's why you have matte black on a Pro Mod car. If you ding it or you set it on fire or anything like that, just spray over it again and it all looks the same. Although, to be fair to Kev, he's never done that just yet. He's wearing the number 1 on the car. This is a proper heads-up drag race. Kev Slyfield spins the tyres off the start line. John Delamont away in the distance, but Kev pedals it and tries to run him down. Doesn't quite get there. 7:16 takes out a 7:40. Kev Slyfield really was trying after the problem on the start line. So your next pair, far side the racetrack, Bert Englefield with the hot rod, looking to go further in the 6s this summer against Wayne Nicholson with the Lucky Devil, looking to get back into the 6s. Hasn't been there for a season or 2 now, I don't think, actually, for Wayne. The car has so much potential, but these Pro Mod cars are about as difficult to get a handle on as anything in the racing world. Well, Wayne doesn't really move off the start line. Bert is away and gone. Clicks it off just a little bit before the finish line and pulls the chutes with a real nice for the conditions, 6:69. Andy Robinson gets the bye run and doesn't waste it at all. A little bit of shake, still set comparatively softly for them. 6:31, 2:24, low ET of the event so far. And that was it for the day. The rain came in and no further racing took place. So as we look at the points table after round 1, join us again for round 2 at the FIA FIM main event with 22 cars entered and hopefully some sunshine.